So 4.7 lakh rupees, 4.9 lakh rupees and 5.3 lakh rupees. That's the pricing of the BMW F 450 GS. With that out of the way, let's get to the video. There are a lot of expectations with the BMW F 450 GS. This is India's first made in India multi-cylinder liquid cooled ADV motorcycle. So obviously you will have high hopes from this. Does it live up to the hype? Does this become the brand new default recommendation in the sub 500cc ADV space? We'll find out in this video. Let's get straight to business. We didn't get a lot of time with this motorcycle. We only got to spend around an hour and a half riding this motorcycle, testing the motorcycle, and a little bit extra to shoot this video. So first impression as it goes, this 420cc parallel twin engine, it is not the most exciting engine out there, but it is really good because it has this sort of dual characteristic to it. So in case if you want to ride it in a calm, chill manner, it's got that tractability about it. So you can ride it at revs as low as 3000 RPM in fourth gear and it will chug along as it did so in the quaint little streets of Goa. But even out on the highway, when you are say cruising at around 100-120 kilometers per hour and you want to get a move on, you want to get past some slow moving traffic, you just need to twist the throttle and it will surge ahead. So the motor does make this bike fast, but it doesn't have that quite say thrilling aspect to it. Yes, it will help you sustain those speeds rather nicely on the highway, and that is particularly good about it because at the end of the day, this is a GS. A GS feels very natural to tour on, and in that regards, this does the job well. There are a little bit of gruff sensations that you will feel on the motorcycle. Not that much at the foot pegs, a little at the bars, and a bit more prominent on the fuel tank as well as the seat. But it's not bothersome, it's not irritating like the G310 GS's harsh vibrations. And speaking of which, the major benefit here is that this bike now gets 3 liters more fuel on board. So this is a 40-liter fuel tank, so expect your stints to be quite a lot longer. But BMW has introduced something called as ERC, Easy Ride Clutch, with the 450 GS, the Trophy Edition. So what it basically is that it is introducing centrifugal clutch system into it so that it allows for clutchless stopping and rolling off from when you want to ride this motorcycle. So the system is similar to what you find on the Honda Activa, the TVS Jupiter or any other scooter in the market. You slot it into gear and even if you dump the clutch, it will not stall the engine. What it will do is that when you start building up the revs, post 2700 RPM, it will start moving forward. Now this is not a seamless experience. This is something that you will have to get used to because initially it sort of feels like it's lurching forward, but that is a feeling that you might want to learn and you might want to overcome that lurching feeling. But hey, we will get this bike for a thorough road test and explore it in detail further. One last thing about the engine, this does get BMW's quick shifter, or as it calls it, Shift Assistant Pro. On our test bike, I found that the upshifts, while smooth, the downshifts were very hard, notchy, and sometimes refused to shift. So it might be a particular issue of our test unit or for the fact that the engine has barely run in. So keeping my reservations for that particular aspect. The G310 GS's highlight was its plush ride quality, but that doesn't seem to have been carried over onto the F450 GS because even though these are adjustable suspension components on this GS Trophy Edition, the stock setting feels a tad bit too firm for our Indian road conditions, especially when you're going over, say, a little bit of those broken tarmac stretches or the sharp bumps. It doesn't quite as soak in as well, and it feels a little bit bouncy, or it feels tossy over them. It's not anyway bad or jarring or harsh, but given the fact that we have brilliant suspension tune ADVs of late, like the Himalayan, the RTX in its BTO avatar, even to a great extent the KTM 390 Adventure, and BMW obviously had the G310 GS in its stock avatar, this feels like a little bit of a letdown. So when you're out on the highway, you will not say be unfazed when you encounter a pothole or say any undulation, but you will have to be a little bit mindful about it, and that sort of say takes away a bit of that carefree nature that you want from an ADV. Now the trade-off for the slight firm suspension tune is in the handling department, because the F450 GS is one sweet handling motorcycle. Now we didn't get a lot of twisties on our test ride, but around those sweepers near Mopa in Goa, this bike held its own, and it was really joyful carrying those massive lean angles. In fact, the bike felt a lot more capable than what you would. So holding it on and trusting that these tires, these Maxxis block pattern tires, will hold its own, that will give you incredible thrills when you're out in the twisties. Speaking of which, the tires, now the front remains the same, but compared to the 310 GS, BMW has gone 2 sizes smaller at the rear. Now that does help in the handling department quite a bit, and I suspect that even though we haven't done quite a bit of off-roading, or rather no off-roading, it is going to be helpful over there, because the 310 felt heavy to steer in tight, tricky situations, whereas this, because it's ultra well balanced and narrow in its footprint, it should be a lot better when you're going off-roading. So when our road test or our comparison video of this bike drops, we will definitely be checking out its off-roading potential there. And lastly, the brakes on this bike are brilliant. Stops in an instant, sharp feedback, and overall a very nice progressive ABS intervention system. Weight management on the F450 GS is incredible. So from the 310 to this, BMW has just managed to increase the weight by around 8.5 kilos. 8.5 kilos, that's it for an extra cylinder and a little bit added capabilities. That is incredible. But you need to remember that if you're getting the GS Trophy version, you can't just leave the bike in gear, because even if you leave it in gear, it is going to roll off because of the centrifugal clutch. So the bike will roll off. You will need to be mindful about that. Now the seat height is 845 mm on paper. It does read a little bit on the taller side, and swinging your leg to get your feet down is going to be a little bit of an issue. But when you're on the go, and if you've set up the suspension properly for your liking, it should not be that much of a bother. But the seating space on offer, even for a larger rider like me, is plenty. It's got a flat seat, there is a lot of room in the saddle to move around, and the footpeg position is very natural. The bars now, there are 2 positions that you can set the bars, one closer to the rider or one further away. I rode both motorcycles with this setting. I found the closer one to be a bit more to my liking, especially for touring scenarios. Riding around the streets of Goa, the GS was an instant head turner, especially in the GS Trophy livery. Tubeless spoke wheels would have enhanced its aesthetic appeal, not so much the functional characteristics. And since you have decided to spend the big bucks for this bike, would you be willing to shell out another 70,000 rupees? Let me know in the comments. The baby GS doesn't fail to disappoint in the features department, but you get a sense that it could have had a few more bits. Cruise control is a big miss here, as that is an aid that is so highly appreciated on long tours. Instead, heated grips are provided, which I didn't have the will to test out in the 50-degree Goan heat. TPMS would have been appreciated as well though. So is this the most impressive made in India ADV motorcycle? Well, the expectations from it were pretty high, and if you build it up to a great level, then it's not going to live up to them. If you've kept a very clear and open mind, then yes, you start to see a lot of the positives of this motorcycle, and you might just be willing to live with some of its shortcomings, like the gruff edges or the slightly taut suspension tune. But having said that, this is a very credible tourer. It sits on the highway effortlessly at 120, 130 kmph, and it will sit there all day long in a rather comfortable manner. The handling dynamics are spot on for having fun, but the motor doesn't feel quite as engaging as you would like it to be. This is a GS, a BMW GS in its pakka sense. And speaking of which, this bike is not going to be cheap to maintain or service, because we've heard owners report 30, 40, 50,000 rupees service bills for the G310 GS, and that was a single. This is a twin. This has fancy materials like magnesium for the engine casing. So service bills or crashes, well, it is going to take a big hit on your bank balance. So in case if you're willing to spend that much extra, and you're already spending quite a bit, because the base version gets absolutely nothing that much of value, so you will look to get the top version, or because if you want the quick shifter and ERC, then the GS20 version. So you're already shelling out quite a lot of money to get this motorcycle, and you have prepared yourself to make do with those hefty service bills from a Bavarian ADV motorcycle. So those were our initial impressions of the F450 GS. I know we couldn't quite do justice to the motorcycle, but BMW gave it to us for a very short period of time, and this is the best that we could do in that limited amount of time. So when we do get this motorcycle for a longer duration, we will do a thorough road test and maybe even a comparison with some of its near direct rivals. What would you like to see in that comparison video? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video, and also hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon for when the video drops on our channel.